Hello everyone, welcome back to another video for CC Fitness Studio with me, Charlotte. Before you take part in this video, please make sure you're physically fit, well and able to do so. If you're under the care of your GP or a physiotherapist or such like, please make sure with that person that it is okay for you to do Pilates. This video is going to include a piece of equipment, so I'm going to be using a small ball. If you don't have one of these, then I would grab a couple of pillows, and you should still be able to get through the workout with those, or even without the ball is fine. So I'm going to begin on the mat on my back. I'm going to check the space around me and do so yourself. Make sure that nothing is going to cause you a mischief, and I might have some little props close by in case I need something to go behind the back of my head. So first of all, just coming onto the mat, resting on the ball as if it was a pillow. Just taking a moment before we begin anything, just to connect with the breath. So first of all, I'm going into a belly swell. So on inhalation, I'm just going to gently push the belly up. And on the exhale, I'm just going to let that tummy settle and sink back down into the body. So just continue with that belly breath. Inhalation, let it swell. Exhalation, let it soften, relaxing the body as it comes back down. So all the while you're just letting the body relax on that exhalation breath where you feel the tummy just sinking back down. Feel yourself getting heavier onto the mat. Try and just focus on the breath, fully inhaling and fully exhaling, just trying to clear the mind so that you can concentrate as much as you can on the routine to follow. I now want you to start thinking about connection to centre. So I'm going to change my breath. From the belly breath, I'm going to go into a lateral breath. So I just want you to stay on your mat, just giving you that little visual. Imagine your ribcage is an accordion, and as you take that inhalation breath, imagine that accordion just widening, the ribcage spreading. And on the exhalation breath, just let the ribcage soften and knit back in. So inhalation breath, do a little push down on your back ribs, feel them lungs bellowing and filling as you inhale. Exhale, we're knitting the ribcage back in. You're going to keep going on your exhalation breath till you feel this sort of tightening, narrowing into these abdominal muscles. Something is starting to happen. They're toning up, they're firing up. Inhalation breath, not so much, we're widening with that breath. Exhalation breath, ribcage is knitting in. Try and find the tightening, the narrowing. Just push that rib cage in. Imagine you're trying to flatten your back on your mat. You might start to feel a little bit more. And we're just going to add more into that connection to centre. So think about your arms. And as you go into the exhalation breath now, still push down through the rib cage, still find that tightening and narrowing into the waistline, but you're also pressing your arms into the mat. Inhale, you ease off that press. Exhale, pressing again into the rib cage, down, tightening and narrowing, arms pressing at the side. Check your shoulders are not popping forwards, they're widening as you go into that press, and then you'll ease off. And again, so through the exhalation breath, tightening and narrowing, push that rib cage in and down, press the arms down to the mat, and start to feel this tone and the abdominal muscles starting to do something. With the legs, I want you to think also now on the exhalation breath about gently pressing down through the backs of the thighs. Imagine you're widening your hips and get a little maybe squeeze into your bottom cheeks, and you can feel some fire now into your inner thighs as well. So exhalation breath now includes the legs pressing flat, squeeze your bottom a little bit, find your inner thighs starting to do something, the arms are pressing, and the rib cage is pressing in like you're trying to flatten your back on the mat. Inhale, you just ease off. Do 2 more for me. Exhale, press through the arms, press down through the rib cage, press down through the backs of the legs, squeeze a little bit into the bottom and your inner thighs, and then ease off. So I want you appreciating how, just by using the breath and some simple pressing exercises, you can start to build a feeling into your centre where all limbs should be supported from. And now just relax. Let the body absorb all that information. Thinking of our hips, I want you to go into hip hitching. So just taking your time, your waistline shortens as you hip hitch, that leg gets a little bit shorter. You then switch and change. So we've got one leg pressing long, one leg hitching and shortening. I'm trying not to go too crazy around the shoulders or the rib cage. This is just coming from the hips. Feel your waistline shortening, lengthening, shortening, lengthening, and then just rest there from the hips hitching. We're going to bring our arms up from the ground and we're going to connect the fingertips down onto the elbows. I want you thinking of your shoulders. As you take a nice inhale breath, shoot your elbows up. You feel the backs of the shoulder lifting. As you exhale, they soften back down with a sense of widening again through the front of the shoulder, shooting up, dropping down. Inhale up, exhale down, all the time trying to keep that rib cage flat in the front of the body, and now we are reaching the elbows over. Stretch out your legs like they're an elastic band, and then bring the arms back in front of the face. You're going to do 2 more. So again, think elastic band. Inhale, stretch out of the legs going one way, stretch the elbows going the other. One more time, reaching, and then returning. I'm just going to do a little switch there, so the other arm comes on top, the other arm comes underneath, and we're just going to repeat. Inhale, shoot up. Exhale, drop the shoulder blades down. I'm still trying to breathe fully into my lungs, inhaling, expelling all the air out on that exhalation breath. One more time. And then we're reaching. So stretch out of the legs again, like that's one end of the elastic band and your elbows are the other. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, return. Inhale, reach. And exhale, return. Release the arms and bring the body into a bent leg position. Not too wide, no more than really a tennis ball between the knees and the ankles. I want you thinking of pelvic tilts. So as we take an inhalation breath, I'm going to exaggerate mine, you might be a little bit more subtle. So there's the inhalation to the arch, and there's the exhalation. I'm gently rolling onto that lower back without clenching my bottoms, firing up my thighs. Don't put too much effort into it, ease off. Just keep it soft, and just rolling forwards to arch. And coming the other way to softly flatten onto the mat. And again, just breathing, make sure you're not holding your breath in and out. Just conscious all the time of keep filling their lungs and keep emptying the lungs. And then resting the pelvic tilts. And now I'm going to take the ball out and I'm going to place it underneath the feet. If when you lay down on your mat you feel your chin is tipped back, if you can see that wall behind you, I would certainly be getting something behind the head. So again, fist space between the chin and the chest, tennis ball, nothing much bigger. I'm just going to grab mine, just so I know that I can keep the chin in that right place and I can keep the ribs in as well. So from here, arms at the side of the body, I want you on your next exhalation breath to press your feet down onto the ball and feel what happens as you do that. Keep your rib cage in, don't go to arch. Push that back like you're trying to push it flat again, and then ease off. 2 more, exhale and press down. And ease off. And again, exhale, press down. And ease off. I'm going to take the hands behind the back of the head, start bringing in an upper body float here. Nice inhalation breath. Exhale, press the feet down and lift. And then take it back down. And again, exhale, press through the feet and lift. One more time, exhale, press through the feet and lift. We're now going to roll the ball out as we lift. So this is still exhale, up, 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 up as the ball rolls away. And then bring it in as you lower down. Exhale, lifting almost from that breastbone, up, 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 up. And down. One more time. Lift, 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 lift. Lower down. Lift again. Roll the ball out. Momentary pause. Stay lifted through your upper body. As you roll the ball back in, can you lift any higher? We're going to do that another 2 times. Every time the ball comes in, can you get any higher? One more time, any higher, lifting up as the knees come in, roll the ball out and pause for a moment. Keep the legs long with 3 more lifts through the upper body, and appreciate how sort of different that feels when the legs go out straight. 2, and 3. Good, you can keep your head rested if you prefer, or you can keep lifting as we go 3 leg lifts off the ball. Exhalation breath brings you up. Inhale takes you down. Exhale, same leg comes up, and then you go down. One more time, exhale breath coming up. And now we're going to change that one over. Other leg lifting, exhale, lift. And again, exhale, lift. One more time, really reach that leg away, exhale, lift. And down. Lovely. Roll your ball back in and take your right foot off the ball only. Good, now you can use the ground, you can push into that a little bit, especially here on the right. Left elbow coming across 3 times as you exhale. So make sure there's a lift before you rotate. I might have a little look at that elbow and then return. Again, make sure there's a lift before you rotate. One more time, a lift before you rotate. We're going to go to the other side. Keep that foot nice and flat on the ball. Lift and rotate. 1. Lift and rotate. 2. Lift and rotate. 3. Good. We're going to roll the ball out. And as it comes back in, you're going to lift again. So here, rotate. 1. Push it back out. And again, rotate. 2. Roll it back out. Rotate. 3. Roll it back out and pause. We're now coming back over to the right side. You're going to do a leg float this time. As you come over, exhale breath, there, 1. And again, make sure you've got your lift up, 2. And on 3, you're going to pause. You're going to take your left hand out and push it on the inside of your knee. You're going to push your knee onto your hand and you're going to rotate. Sorry, you're not going to rotate. You're going to roll your ball 3 times in that position. Maintain the press. Maintain that rotation. And then lower it all down. You're going to drop your right knee out. And you're going to do 3 nice big circles there, just releasing and stretching. 1 just before we do the other side. 2, hopefully you won't have a wall that you need to negotiate. If you do, just bend your arms a little bit as you're coming round in your circle. You take the knee back up, you roll the ball back in, and we swap over to the other side. We're going to bring the hands back behind the head. We're going to plant that left foot into the ground. And we're now going to rotate the right elbow across. As we exhale, make sure there is a lift before you rotate. And again, a lift before you rotate. And again, exhale up. Good, now we go to the other side. And exhale, other side. 1. And again. 2. And again. 3. Roll the ball out. Good, as it comes back in, we rotate again. 1. And then 2. And then 3. Good. Keep the right leg long. With the leg float, moving back over to the left, across. 1. Across. 2. And across. 3. Good. Come up. And place right hand on the inside. You might have got an extra one there. Press and press. Give you that roll for 3. Keep pressing. 2. And 1. Bring that foot back down and let the knee fall out. Find those circles again here. 1. And 2. And 3. Very nice. Bring that knee back up and bring that ball back in. Now, if you have quite a high block behind the head, I would say probably bring that out because you don't want to be jamming your chin onto your chest. I'm now going to change the position of the ball and we're going to go up with the back side and try and find a position there. So it's almost resting not quite in the lower back. I can feel it on my tailbone, but it's no lower than my tailbone. Get the rib cage, let it fall in the front of the body. Like you almost feel like you're on a bit of a ski slope here. Arms at the side, we're going to revisit the pelvic tilts. So do you remember where we did that arch and the ball might move a bit where it is now, and stay heavy on it like you're pushing it to your heels. You're going to go again, arching, and then to the heels. Try not to clench too much as you do that. You can draw on your pelvic floor, suck it up. That's what helps to bring the belly button down and in. And then maybe refers, you might have heard, to this scooping into the abdominal muscles. One more time. And pause. I'm going to walk my feet out to a wide position. Now I'm using, let's do that again, because it's really good for the hips and the ankles. So I'm walking in a pigeon toe, Charlie Chaplin, pigeon toe, and then back together. I'll go one more time. So I turn out, Charlie Chaplin feet, pigeon toe feet, and now I'm going to stay wide. Good. I'm going to think about my hips, internal rotation of the hip. We're going to drop down there without the rib cage lifting off that side. Plug that rib cage in. 2. Same side. 3. You're going to change that over, other leg. So dropping it into that centre. 1. And again 2. And again 3. I'm going to tap both knees together. As I tap both knees together, I am imagining pushing the ball again towards my heels. And again, 2. And again, 3. Good. Keep that wide position for a nice little hip release. So on this wide leg, I'm going to float it off. If you want to, one hand or both hands, I'm just drawing that. See how I've got the sole of the foot almost looking at the ceiling? Trying to bring that thigh almost onto my chest. More so coming out towards my armpit. Good. 2 more. So here, if you want to, you don't have to add that on. 2. One more time here is 3. And then ease off that side. We're going to change over. Inhaling, preferably up, in, and then release. And again, up, in, and release. And one more time. Up, in, or release. Very nice. From there, walk back in, pigeon toe, Charlie Chaplin, pigeon toe, knees and feet are together. Rib cage is in. I might put a bit of arm press that we did at the beginning, a little arm press with this. Keep the shoulders wide as you press. It's very easy for them to pop up, so try and press them wide as you, on an exhale breath, press and lift. Take it down. And again, exhale, press in and down. One more time, press up and hold. So we're going to go to the internal rotation again. From here, I want you to open up your ankles. Your knees are still together, and return. Again, so again, internal rotation. See that hip socket or that bone on the thigh, that knucklehead on the end of the bone. See it pivoting inwards. Good. We're going to do one more and stay there. This is going to fire up the tummy muscles, provided you keep that rib cage in. Heel drop for 3. Yes, it is a bit peculiar with the knees together and the feet wide. 2, and then 3. And bring the feet back together, ready for external rotation. So push the heels together, widen through the knees, and then come back in. Let me show you that one there. So 2 more, so you're widening through the knees and the feet. Then you come back together. And again, widening, coming back together, widening and stay there for press your heels together. 3 heel drops again. Press, press, press the heels. Keep them pressing. And again, press them. 2. And press them. 3. Now bringing this position all the way in towards the body. Again, you see how close the thighs are to the front of the body. Trying to get my soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are back, a little arm press if you wish. Inhale, up, 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 press your heels together. Now come back down. Good. So we're going to go into a nice little hip series. Up, 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 and down. One more time, up, and stay there. Now go wide with your legs. Wide, wide, wide. And then bring them back together. And again, 2. And back together, and again 3, and back together. This is a breaststroke. Now if you feel your thighs are starting to scream, rest, drop your heels towards your bottom for a moment, try and take your legs back up, try and soften them mentally in your head so they don't fire up, think, keep them soft, and help your legs along the way if you need. Breaststroke, wide, bend, heels together, up. And again, wide, bend, heels together and up. Wide, bend, heels together and up. Ready to reverse. Bend, out wide, and up. And bend, out wide, and up. One more, and bend, and wide, and up. Keep your heels together. Can you drop them down 3 times? Keep your rib cage in. Don't go too low, otherwise the ball might come out. Good, we'll just start moving. I'll get my hands around mine, that might help. One more. This then becomes circles. Drop down again. Take the heels away from each other into circles. Now, that is quite big. If you're just starting up, keep it small. Look, down, small, circle back in. No shame. And again, don't think everything needs to be big to be better. Less is more. Other way. In towards you, separate the heels. Down and away. Again, that's quite big, but you could be doing something quite small. Good. One more time. And from there, bend the knees, feet go down. I'm actually going to slide the legs out into a semi-wide position. Arms as well. Watch your wall if you've got one. And now slowly, letting my hips rock side to side. That just feels nice. Stretch, release, let go before we move. Find your breath again. One more time. And then pause. Bring the feet back in towards the bottom. Take the body up. Taking the ball out. And now rolling onto one side. What I try and get people to do is use the front of their mat for the ankle, hip, and armpit, all trying to make a straight line there on the mat. If you don't like resting on your arm, you do need to make sure your chin is off your chest. Then again, find a block and use something there. We're going to bring the arm out in front, Good. Now we're going to go for another press onto the ball. And as you press onto the ball, you're going to find this sort of tightening, narrowing, pull the rib cage in, press your heels together if you like. On your exhale breath, press down. Inhale, ease off. Exhale, press down. Inhale, ease off. Exhale, press down. Inhale, ease off. Now make that shoulder move. Roll the ball a little bit towards you. It's nothing to do with your elbow. You've just brought the shoulder blade closer to the spine. And now you've stretched the shoulder blade away from the spine, rolling the ball forwards. So you can go 2 in towards the spine, away from the spine, in towards the spine, and away, and then put it somewhere in the middle. Still going to try and press. Find yourself with a consistent little mild press there. Try and keep that tone through the side of the body and lift the leg for 5. Maintain that press, not too aggressive. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease off the press. Glue your ankles together. Can you press on the ball and lift your legs up? If not both, just do one again. Exhale, press 2. Exhale, press 3 and stay there. Just find your breath. Can you hold 3 breaths? Keep the legs lifted, keep a little press on that ball, feel where it's all going on, keep your rib cage in and lower down. Good, so from underneath the hand, we're going to go in between the ankles. Now, you can have another challenge if you like by taking your arm up off of the ground. You're going to work your hip hitching again, but just on this top leg. So you hitch the hip up, the waistline shortens, and then you lengthen it, it gets longer as should the leg. And hitch up to short, press it down for a long, hitch up to short, and stretch it down long. Generally try and keep that waistline long. We're going to try and lift the legs. We're going to squeeze the ball and try and lift. 1 and down. Squeeze the ball, try and lift. 2 and down. Squeeze the ball, lift. 3 and down. Now find your external rotation. See, I'm rolling that ball up. I'm thinking hip. That's what is rotating. Again, that knuckle head on the top of the bone turns out, opening up from the hip. Try not to think about your knee, from the hip. Very nice. We're going to try and combine. So we're going to do a leg lift up. If you can, you do external rotation there. If not, you might have to wait until your legs are down and do it there. And again, on the legs, where are you going to do your external rotation? Is it up or down? One more time. Rolling, good. And down. Relax the arm, bring your knees up and take the ball out. From there, come and find yourself on all fours. So I'm going to place the ball in between the knees and go to an all fours position. So from here, you're going to think about squeezing the ball with your knees. Excuse me while I do a hairdresser here. So squeezing the ball with the knees, hands on the ground. Try not to round the back, try not to deviate the shape of the back at all. Exhale breath. Squeeze onto that ball as if you wanted to suck it up into your tummy. Think about lifting that pelvic floor. Ease off. Exhale breath, a squeeze and ease off. One more time, a squeeze and ease off. Can you tuck your toes under? Because I'm going to have the knees going to hover. So slowly, slowly squeeze onto the ball and see if you can hover the knees on your exhale breath. Again, don't shorten. Keep that front body and back body nice and long. Lower your knees down and try again. Exhale, squeeze through the knees, lift. And take it down. And then again, squeeze through the knees and lift. And down. Can you do a 3 breath hover and hold? So exhale, come up now, hover and hold. Keep the front and the back body nice and long. Check you haven't dumped your head down. Good. 3, 2, and lower. Very nice. Take the ball out. I'm going to stay in the all fours position. I'm going to thread the needle because this feels quite nice. So I've got my one hand on the ball, just about on the fingertips. On my inhale breath, I'm going to thread it through. I'm going to let it just roll up the arm rather than pitter-pattering it with your fingers. 2 more. Roll. And bring it back out. One more time. And go through, inhaling. And then come back out. Good. Take that hand off, changing over. On your inhale breath, thread through. And then come out. And again, on that exhale, inhale, thread through. And again, one more time, thread through. Good. Let's come and do the other side of the body that we haven't done yet. So decide whether you want to block. Remember what we've said about the front of the mat and how it helps line the body up. And then we stretch that top arm out and place it on the ball. Maybe you can press your heels together a little bit, feel them low inner bottom cheeks doing something, pull that front rib cage in, and on your exhale breath, press onto your ball again. 1, mine has just gone out of sight maybe, and off. Exhale again, press, and ease off. And again, exhale breath, press, and ease off. Now shift the shoulder. Do you remember? We went into that retraction. Remember, try not to use your elbow at all. This is all shoulder. Moving backwards and forwards one more time into the spine, away from the spine. And then find that shoulder somewhere in the middle. Press onto the ball. Give yourself a little light press. Try and maintain that and lift that top leg. 1. Because ultimately, the abdominal muscles, 2, whether it's the front abdominals, side abdominals, back abdominals, we are lifting and lowering with support from the abdominal muscles. I think that's 5. And pause. Now I'm going to press and double leg lift. So press, double leg lift up and then down. Press, double lift up and down. And again, and down, press and hold. So keep pressing, keep the body lifted or the legs lifted. 3 breaths, and then lower down. Take the ball in between the ankles and press it back down, long legs. Extra challenge if you want it, take that arm off the ground. Now think of the waistline, where we hitched that hip up to shorten, and we stretched it down to lengthen. And again, 2, and lengthen, 3, and lengthen. Good. From there, double leg lift again, squeeze the ball, up we come, 1, and down. Up we come again, 2, and down. One more time is 3, and down. So the external rotation was a roll. Try not to let the body roll back to achieve that. 2 more from the hip. Remember, turning out is what takes the knee towards the ceiling. Good. Unwrap that thigh. And then put that little combination together. They might come out, in which case just readjust and go double leg lift up. Do you want to hold up here while you do that external rotation, or are you going to bring your legs down and do it? 2 more times. Up if you can, do it up. Then lower down, 1 more time, lift. And lower down. Nice. Tuck the knees up, bring the ball out, and find yourself up in a seated position. Okay, I want to try and relax the hips as much as I can as I've come to seated. So I'm going to adopt this sort of diamond position. We're not dragging the heels right in here. I need you to be able to sort of be reasonably comfortable. But we're just going to try and relax the hips as we place the ball into the small of the back, wedge you in there. And I'm going to hold behind the backs of the thighs. So I want the knees to stay relaxed, like they're falling wide, not like the hips are gripping. That's when they could potentially be pulling towards each other. Placing one hand on the back of each knee, doing a little pull on the back of my thighs to stretch my elbows out wide and keep the shoulders down away from my ears. I've really elongated that spine, sitting up tall from the sit bones. Take a nice inhale breath. On the exhale, just nod your chin down a little bit. Roll off your sit bones like they're rockers and change the shape of the back to a C curve. And then roll it back up. And again, so we're changing the shape to a C curve. One more time. What you're not doing is just leaning back, because that's just going to put stress potentially into the back. And then pause. Okay, I'm going to straighten one leg. Let me do it that way. I'm going to bring this one up. I'm still focused on trying to keep my hips relaxed. Arms are up. Now I want you to imagine as your arms go up, like you're pressing on the ball again, and you can get this connection down through the back body. Inhaling, find the C curve and just press the arms down again. And then come up. And again, check you're not leaning back. Are you going too far with it? One more time, nod the chin down, press the belly button back. Good. We're going to start pumping the arms now for 3. This is exhale, 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 inhale, sit tall. And again, down with the press, exhaling. 1, 2, 3. And again, exhale, pressing down. 1, 2, 3. We've got a good connection here with this foot into the mat. And we start lifting this leg. Optional. As I pump, 1, 2, 3. Am I still making a C curve, not leaning back? C curve. 1, 2, 3. One more time on that leg lift. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Going to circle the arms, switch the legs over, reach up, breathe in. No pumps. Exhale, just press down like you're pressing through mud. 1. Exhale again, press. 2. Exhale again, 3. Now we're going to start just the arms pumping. Add 3, 2, 1. And again, pressing. 1, 2, 3. And again. 1, 2, 3. With the leg lift if you can. Float it up and press. 1, 2, 3. And again, pressing. 1, 2, 3. Lovely, last time on the pumps. 1, 2, 3, and rest. Straightened both legs, bringing the ball out, just for a little release. So I'm going to widen the legs, place the ball in front. I'm going to roll the ball forwards, so let it go. 1. And again, 2. And again, 3. Opposite hand to foot, the arm behind you, press again, like you're doing a press on the ball, palm up, press it up and reach away from the ball. Change over, other one. Press the palm up, reach away from the ball. And again on each side. And then one more time. And return. Bring the legs together. And then we're going to come onto the front of the body. So I'm just spinning. Am I going to spin around? Yes, I'm going to get rid of that. Although if you wanted to, you could place a block in between your thighs as you go over here, just to bring a little bit more engagement into that lower body. Hands on the top, forehead rested on the mat. Spread your elbows like you're reaching out of them, stretching an elastic band. Roll the shoulders back, down and wide. Take a nice inhale breath, think of an elastic band. On the exhale breath, float up like your crown is one end of the elastic band, your legs are the other. Lengthen the body as you float up and then lower down. And again, lengthen the crown forwards, the legs long and away. And then one more time. And down. I'm going to roll the ball away into a dart. So now my fingers are one end of the elastic band, floating, lengthening away, and the legs are going long on the mat. 1, in and lower. And again, away, lengthen, 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 2. And again, lengthen, 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 3. And bring it in. I'm now going to take the ball right to the side of the body and my hand is on top, bending this arm in, palm is flat and elbow is down. So I'm going to do a little side bend here. So I'm going to float up first of all, using a little bit of this hand in front to assist. My elbow is going to lift off to roll that ball down. Can you see that elbow that's come up there just behind the back of my head? And down. Float up, elbow lifts as you come round in your side bend. One more time, floating, round in that side bend and down. Going to pass the ball over the back, bringing the other arm in front, flat through the palm and the elbow. Hand on the top there, that's going to do that roll into the side bend. We float up. See how that elbow comes off probably better on this side as I roll to the side bend. And then back down. And floating up. And side bending. Lowering down. We've got one more of those. Lower down. One last section. So now I'm going to bring both hands onto the ball, lightly with my fingertips, and elbows are quite considerably bent there into the small of the back. Now if I felt that that was too tight on my shoulders, they just didn't feel comfortable, I might use something that is a little bit wider than the ball. So it's easier for me to hold. And this time take a nice inhale. As you exhale, slide the block down. Try and lengthen your arms as you bring your breastbone up. 1, back in and down. And then 2, in and down. 1 more. And rest. Take that block or ball away. Use your hands and find a child's pose just for a moment. Just relaxing, releasing, having finished that little routine. And then you are done. So quite a lot going on in that little routine. You are sort of a bit hip related, talking about the hips, opening them up and closing them, and certainly probably felt some work going through the abdominal muscles as well. Any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. I hope to see you again, and I hope you enjoyed that routine.